Happy New Year! New Year, same Olympiacos. Same Olympiacos, winning basketball games, doing it the hard way, proving to us that we can never, ever, ever have an easy game with this team. We can never relax, but we're going to win. One way or the other, we're going to win. And this year's our year. We're doing it. What a game. 92-85 against ZALGIRIS in Lithuania. A game where we had to come back from 14 points down in the third quarter and ended up winning by 7 in the end. A game where we conceded 52 points in the first half, where Zalgiris shot 65% three-pointers in the first half, 11 from 17. Absolutely insane percentages. The best half Zalgiris have ever played in the history of their basketball, and arguably one of the worst halves that we played. But oh my God, what a turnaround in that second half. I mean, that defense, that offense, the fluidity, the players stepping up, it was beautiful. Everything that wasn't happening in the first half, boom, second half, just it clicked. And it was exactly what you want to see, exactly how a team that's going for the championship, that's how they perform. Now, we need to figure out a way to do that across the whole game, because we are starting far too many of these games, far too relaxed on defense, far too sloppy, far too chilled out. And then, I mean, I'm sorry, Francisco's career high in points was 22. This man scored 20 in the first half. He scored 20 points on us in the first half. They had, as I said before, they had 11 of 17 three-pointers. That is 65%. That is an insane percentage for three-pointers. Like, it's incredible. We're like, where was our defense? We couldn't, oh my God. And the thing is, whenever they missed a three-pointer, which they didn't in the first half, they'd get the offensive rebound. And the same thing would happen in the second half. In the second half, they missed 9 three-pointers in the third quarter before they made one. But they weren't getting so many rebounds. If we look at the stats here, right, so they had 32 rebounds. We had 24. They had 12 offensive rebounds. We had 16 defensive rebounds. We had 4 more defensive rebounds than they had offensive rebounds. Do you realize how close of a difference that is between our defensive boards, where theoretically we should be winning the majority of them, to their offensive board? Like, that is criminally bad rebounding. Fair play to Zalgiris, but oh my God, like, that was insane game. Right, putting that to the side though, second half, the minute the defense tightened up and the minute they started missing their shots, you could see we turned it on. And then certain players started getting into the rhythm of things. We started feeding Vezenkov and playing inside the paint, made a big difference. We started making our shots. We started going a little bit harder to the basket. Barzokas made the decision to finally bring on Milutinov, a big man who can shoot and drag their defense out and can actually attack, because Thrylos did not want to attack. He just wanted to play pointing forward. He just wanted to dish the ball. He thought he was Jokic. I mean, but the second half, it just clicked. It clicked. And the minute that McKissick shot that three that bounced off the rim and then bounced all the way to the top and dropped, the minute that happened, I went, yeah, that's it. We've won. Because up to that point, every second ball, every deflection, every weird shot was dropping for them. And now we were saying, oh, this is not going to be our night. And then the minute that happened, I just went, yep, that's it. That's what you wanted. That's proof the basketball gods have turned, and they're with you. Now, outside of the whole team perspective, let's look at a couple individual performances. In the first half, big shout out to Walk Up in the first quarter, specifically against his old team. He was the only one who was attacking in the first quarter. Vezenkov and Fournier in the first quarter were non-existent. It's like they didn't play. I forgot they were there. Walk Up was the only one that was sort of going to the rack and pulling up for shots. I mean, he had 13 points in 24 minutes. For a player that averages about 4.5, 5 points a game, exactly what you want. Exactly what you want to turn it up. He was the one that kept us in that game in the first quarter because we were down by 10 points very, very early on. It was 16-6, 18-8. If it wasn't for walk-up, that first quarter, we would have had about 5 points total. So fair play to him because he really turned it on. 5 from 9 from 2 for 2 pointers and 1 from 3 for 3 pointers. And 5 assists. Very, very good game from Thomas Walkup. Very productive game. And then the second person that I want to give a shout out in the first half, which was our theoretically bad half, not theoretically, which was our bad half. We were very bad, is McKissick, my boy, my favorite player. Everyone knows I have a soft spot for McKissick. We share the same birthday. Follows me on Instagram. He's my boy. He's a great player. He's getting to the point where I think he is becoming top 2 or 3 best Americans we've ever had play for us. By the time he leaves us, especially if he retires with us, he might be the best American we've ever had play. He's been with us for 5 seasons. His hustle, his speed, his energy, his passion for the game and passion for Olympiacos, like it's so evident. He comes on, the dunks are there, the layups under, like he goes up for the layup and just like breaks his back and goes under and finishes. He attacks, the steals. He comes on, his very first play is a steal and a dunk. First thing he's done in the game. That's exactly what you want. You want to bring that energy. Shaquille McKissick for me is 6th man of the year in the EuroLeague. And I'm not just saying that because I have a soft spot for him. He should be winning 6th man of the EuroLeague. Incredible. Like, that's what you want. You come off the bench, bam, the energy, the passion, the hustle. So he comes on, and he's the only player in the second quarter for me that kept us in the game. We have Walkup in the first quarter, McKissick in the second quarter. He had 9 points in the second quarter and literally kept us in the game. Dunks, 3-pointers. I mean, his 3-pointers are better he's shooting 3-pointers better than he's shooting free throws, I think. Like, it's insane. He shot 50% 3-pointers, 3 from 6 for a player that was not something in his arsenal. And I've brought it up in other reaction videos. I've said McKissick's 3-point shot this season has improved dramatically for a player that didn't have that in his arsenal. Now has it. He shot 50% from 3, 0% from free throw. He didn't make a single free throw, but he made 3 threes. Go figure. But yeah, his energy kept us in the game in the second half. And then that's what you needed. That's what you needed because second half, we change the game plan. We come in harder defense. We start feeding Vezenkov in the post and in the key, and that's where the game turned around. Our offense. I mean, Vezenkov finished the game with 24 points. 19 of those were in the second half. There you go. If I'm not mistaken, I think he played pretty much the entirety of the second half. He played 32 minutes total. Yeah, because he played 12 minutes in the first half. He played the first 12 minutes, then sat out the last 8 in the first half when Peters came on. Yeah, because Peters played 8 minutes. And then Vezenkov came on and played the entirety of the second half. And it was evident because we were feeding him in the post. He was finishing. And that made all the difference. He was running the first one down the break. And that made a huge, huge difference because now Žalgiris' defense had to adjust. And it wasn't just one-on-ones or 3-point plays or run and dunks. That we had something else. And finally, we had offense inside because Thrylos was not giving us that. And then Milutinov came on and started dragging their big further out because he was pulling up for further out. Or he was attacking or he was faking and going under. Something Thrylos just was not doing. So huge, huge, huge shout out to Vezenkov, who won MVP with 24 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, what else did he have? And a PIR of 27. PIR of 27. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And then a smaller shout out as well to Fournier, who finished as 3rd scorer behind Vezenkov with 24 and McKissick with 17. Then Fournier had 14 and Walkup at 13. So we had 4 players at double digits. Fournier had a quiet game for his standards, considering he had about 5 or 6 games in a row with 20 points. He had 14 points, but his shots, although he wasn't on it for the entire game. His shots came at very crucial moments, and they were big shots. He made a couple of very big threes in moments where we needed them, in moments where it was a second possession or it was the time was starting to run out. And he made a couple of big 2-point shots as well. I remember one at the end of the third quarter where we're down 6. And he has the ball with like 7 seconds to go, and he takes his defender one-on-one, sees there's no three, can't step back, tries to take him to the rack, there's nothing there, but he sort of spins and fades away for the jumper and makes the 2-pointer. So very crucial shots from Fournier, who he showed that clutch personality that he has, the player that we've been missing the last few seasons. Is what we've been saying. We haven't had that since Spanoulis. I keep saying it. Fournier is that player, and you're going to see it in the long run. You're going to see it in the playoffs. You're going to see it in the Final Four. He's going to be that guy that is going to take the big shots and is going to make them. So slightly smaller shout out for him compared to Walkup, who kept us kept us going in the first quarter, and then McKissick, who throughout, whenever he played, for the 20 minutes that he played in the second and fourth quarter, was incredible. 17 points, 4 of 6 from 2-pointers, 3 from 6 for 3-pointers. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a PIR of 19. I mean, he had a full on stat sheet. Brilliant. So Vezenkov, McKissick, Walkup, Fournier, big shout out to all of them. But the whole team in that second half really turned it up. So fair play to them. Coach Barzokas is starting really narrowing his rotation. We didn't see any Vildoza. We didn't see any Dorsey. We only saw 8 minutes of Peters. We saw 3 minutes of Mensah. So he played with 8. He had a rotation of 8 players. He had a rotation of 10 players officially. Mensah had 3 minutes, so technically 9 players. And Peters played very little, only 8 minutes. So to be fair, only 8 players had more than 10 minutes. Which is something that Barzokas isn't really used to doing, because in previous years, he's been splitting the minutes very evenly. Personally, I like it. If you deserve to play, you play. None of this, you get 10 minutes, we swap the whole 5 and 5. My only qualm with this is I thought Vildoza has earned his minutes so far this season, and Peters as well. Peters, this was, he got 8 minutes, and Vezenkov was just in that second half. You couldn't take him off; he was unplayable. But Vildoza, in my opinion, should have come on for Goss. Goss had 21 minutes, and although he had 8 points and a PIR, his PIR was PIR of 6. He had 3 assists, 8 points, 1 steal, 1 rebound in 21 minutes. I think Vildoza can offer a bit more. I think him and Goss should be splitting those minutes. Anyways, overall, very pleased, because that looked like the sort of game that we would have lost in other seasons. Very tough away ground to go to, Zalgiris, and the way that we're playing in that first half, they looked like they weren't going to lose. They looked like 2016-17 Warriors, 2017 Warriors. They looked like the Splash Brothers. It was insane. Francisco had the game of his life. Like, that was incredible. Him and their big man. Don't know who he was, but he made Foul look like a little child. He absolutely dominated him in the paint and was pulling him out, shooting 3-pointers in his face. So yeah, overall very happy with how we've managed to turn it around in the second half. So fair play. We move to a record of 13-6 at the top of the table. All depends what Fenerbahce do when they play later on. And next week we've got Bayern at home on Friday. Bayern, we lost to them away in Germany. They've had a really good start to the season, a really good first half to the season. So we need to bring our A game. But this team's on a roll now. We've won. How many games have we won in a row? We've won 4 games in a row now. Yeah, 4 games in a row. So let's keep it going, and let's secure that home court advantage for the playoffs. Vamos Olympiacos.